Hi, I'm Jeff Worrell, and one of the things I enjoy doing as a city councilor is to meet with constituents and listen to what they like about Carmel and what they want for our community. But unfortunately, during election seasons, I begin to hear concerns. Carmel spends too much money. Carmel has too much debt. Carmel is overbuilt. This will be at least the fourth election cycle in the last 16 years where you are being bombarded with the information that Carmel is $1.4 billion in debt with $15,000 per person owed by every resident. The implication that our bond rating is bad, and Carmel's leaders just don't have a clue. I hear the concern in your voice, and I read the social media posts. Could this information be real? Could the transformation of Carmel into the amazing city we know today be just too good to be true? Well, instead of relying solely on emotion, let's approach this question with sound thinking and consider the facts. Carmel has one of the lowest tax rates of any city our size in the state of Indiana, and a balanced budget, and a $12 million rainy day fund. We even planned for an additional $9 million surplus in accounts at year's end. Now, our federal government may deficit spend, but Carmel never spends more money than it has, ever. In a November 2022 bond sale, Carmel received a AA credit rating and a positive, affirmed, stable outlook. So let's talk about our debt. Just like at your house, perhaps you have a mortgage, and so you know debt is only half of the story. To condemn outright prudent investment and wise spending on infrastructure without considering the amount of revenue we have is just irresponsible gotcha politics. Debt wisely invested and supported by Carmel's growing revenue is a strategic tool that powers our economic engine and continues to keep your property taxes low. Pundits won't tell you, and perhaps you have no reason to even know, but Carmel has a $10.1 billion assessed value. That's what our taxes are based on. For comparison, Fisher's assessed value is $8.6 billion. And for those of you managing a checkbook, Carmel's debt service is just 17% of our annual revenue. So how do we generate revenue? It's really not complicated. And many communities are now copying Carmel's successful formula. Instead of building one-story, sprawling retail strip centers with acres of parking that nobody wants to look at, Carmel attracts companies willing to occupy multi-story, mixed-use buildings. For example, the Topgolf and IKEA complex to our east sits on 50 acres and looks like this. Contrast that with Sophia Square on Main Street, right at the Monon Trail, that sits on just 2.1 acres. Both projects have the exact same assessed value. That's 50 acres versus 2.1 teeny tiny acres. So that's why you see some taller buildings in downtown Carmel. They just make more sense. Now you may be thinking, wouldn't all this development just happen anyway? Well, sure, if you're willing to settle for what you get. But in Carmel, we prefer to focus on what we want. That is why Carmel has been successful partnering with developers and demanding quality of architecture, public space amenities like Midtown, and free parking throughout our garages. So, the buildings you see and the companies they house through commercial property taxes cover 42% of Carmel's debt. These companies create new jobs and recruit employees who pay local income taxes. Those income taxes cover 26% of our debt. 18% of our debt is covered by user fees from our utility customers, some who don't even live in Carmel, as Westfield residents pay us to treat their wastewater. Carmel is the only community in Hamilton County to own and operate its own wastewater and drinking water treatment facilities. Our prudent use of debt ensures no water rationing, yet we enjoy the lowest utility rates, including trash, in all of Hamilton County. So how much debt is really left for you, the residential property taxpayer, to worry about? It's just 13% of the total pie. $133 million is a far cry from the $1.4 billion you keep hearing about.
Sure, we invest a lot in our city, but that helps us rank consistently as a top place to live in America. With a strong financial footing, we have consistently pursued smart growth while preserving the charm and unique identity that sets us apart. And here I am, relishing one of the best tenderloins in town at Muldoon's. It's easy to enjoy both the longtime traditions mixed with the new energy and amenities in our city. I hope this makes you feel more comfortable with the level of debt in Carmel, and I want you to be proud of your community. I'm Jeff Worrell, your City Councilor at Large, and it is my honor to serve you.